You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hey folks, it's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Iron Lady sings, that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show has been bringing you the Chris Voss podcast for over 16 years and 2,400 episodes, and all the greatest minds, all the greatest people, all the greatest journeys of life and stories that you can use to make your life better, or you can use it to make your life worse if you want. I mean, I don't care what you do with the data, but why not make it better? Anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, and Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. Today, we have an amazing young man on the show with us today. Ben Reinberg joins us on the show. His latest book, out March 25th, 2025, is called Hard Assets and Hard Money for Hard Times, a blueprint to build a hard asset empire to withstand every economic cycle, just what we need in 2025. There you go. So we're going to be talking to Ben about his insights and how you can hopefully survive the turbulent financial times as they cometh at you. Ben is a leading expert in commercial real estate and strategy wealth building. With more than 3 decades of experience and billions in real estate transactions, he is the founder and CEO of Alliance Consolidated Group of Companies. Known for his bold investment approach and clear financial strategies, he built a portfolio worth over $500 million, focused on medical and recession-resilient assets. He's also the host of the I Own It podcast and author of Hard Assets and Hard Money for Hard Times. He's passionate about helping others create lasting freedom through smart investing and leadership. Welcome to the show, Ben. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I forgot about that guy. And what's interesting is you said I'm young, and so I'll take it. I never really, I guess 55 years old is young. So
there you go.
I'm going to take it and own that. So yes, I do own it.
There you go. We like to make our guests feel good. I think it's a trick I picked up off of Carson. So Ben, give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
If you want to learn more about commercial real estate, you can go to alliancecgc.com. That's Alliance CGC. If you want to invest with us, people are learning how to invest passively, want to build wealth in our funds and our syndications throughout the United States. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to benreinberg.com. You can buy the book, Hard Assets and Hard Money for Hard Times, but also we have courses that I taught that are bringing the book to life, so I could show you how to fill out your hard asset blueprint as well as bring the book to life. I am going to personally show you step-by-step how to build a hard asset empire. So you can go on my website, and my personal website, benreinberg.com. You can see our podcast is now a TV show. And the benreinberg.com is really about giving back, helping you build wealth, and to create a financial future and generational wealth for you and your family.
There you go. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside the new book and more details?
Well, Chris, I wanted to write the book because for the past 32 years of my career, over 3 decades, I'm asked every day, can you look at my portfolio? Can you give me feedback on an investment? Or just someone would ask, how do I get involved in commercial real estate? How do I invest in commercial real estate? How do I become what you've become starting from scratch 32 years ago? And what I quickly learned, Chris, that most people don't understand how to generate wealth. And they don't understand assets and money and time, which are all tools that can be used to build wealth. They understand the value of time. So I teach that as well. And what's interesting is we are office, industrial, retail, and now multifamily experts throughout the United States. We own in multiple states throughout the United States. And what I realize is most people don't understand about investing in medical. And so I was determined a long time to be the go-to expert in medical real estate. It was a decision we did 23 years ago out of my career. And so when we started talking to doctors and physicians around the country, I was shocked how they didn't understand about investing in medical. And so once I wrote the book, Chris, I knew I had to take another step. I had to go a little bit deeper to teach people how to build a hard asset empire, because no one taught me. Mine was all self-taught. I had to figure out what this blueprint was. I had to figure out what asset protection was. I had to feel estate planning, succession planning, how to protect, defend, and grow my wealth. And so what happened was I wrote this book and I said, okay, now that I wrote the book, I wanted the book to be evergreen. I wanted it from the Ben Reinberg that started 32 years ago to billionaires that will use this book. Everyone in the world will be able to take it off the bookshelf, look at it every day, every week, and say, where are my capstones? Where are my keystones? Do I need to amend my plan? What am I not considering? What has changed with technology? And I want people to think, when you buy this book and you own this book, you're going to have it forever, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to think about what you're doing. Think about how to build generational wealth. And I'm going to teach you step by step. And then I said to my team, I said, you know, books are great, Chris, because what ends up happening is you read a book, you put it on the bookshelf. Maybe you remember for about a month what it was about. Maybe there's lessons that you highlighted, and then you forget about it. Year goes by later. Maybe it's one of those books you're going to read again. You know, there's some classic books out there. But I said, not me. I said, our book is, you're going to be able to refer to it for the rest of your life. You're going to be able to hand it down to your kids if you want, or get them a book. But then I said, let's go a step further. Let's teach classes that bring the book to life so you can learn how to build the hard asset blueprint. And so what I did was I said, okay, well, we're going to allow people to take courses and I'm going to teach them. So we're going to have class 101. And it's going to be core foundations. I'm going to show you the step-by-step guide to essential principles in a hard asset empire, because no one teaches this. I said, okay, well, you do course 1 and you want to grow and you want to go to course 201. That's called incremental growth assets. So I'm going to give you strategies for steady and scalable growth. And then I said, okay, well, what if someone wants to expand their knowledge and they want to continue to grow? And I'm a big advocate of growth. And I said, okay, well, class 301 will be legacy and vision planning. Okay. And I'm going to say, how do you build a long-term legacy and strategic vision, which is really important in your hard asset empire. And then if you really want to be advanced and really master this, I said, we'll give one more course, and it's called course 401. And course 401 is tough. It's called advanced strategy. It's high-level tactics that I do for maximizing impact. And so people say, well, if I take the courses and I go to benreinberg.com, what am I going to learn? And I always like to tell people, what's the desired outcome? That way, you know, and the courses are cheap, which is great. I love it. It's all about helping people. So I said, well, I'm going to teach you resilient cash flow strategies. I'm going to teach you investing in stable market opportunities. And I'm going to personalize and help you build your hard asset empire blueprint. And so these are all the reasons why I wrote the book. I didn't need to write the book, Chris. Okay. I did it because I was tired of people asking me questions and saying, why is no one talking about this? Why is no one hold the hand of people and say, here's how you're going to build wealth? Here's how, because people talk about these grand schemes and these ideas and generalities, but no one gets in the weeds with people. And then what's great about benreinberg.com is I have this hard asset blueprint that you could download from the website for free. I don't charge. And you can use that as your guide as you go through the book. And so it's a beautiful thing. I took over a year to write the book. It's a labor of love. I'm extremely grateful and proud of my colleagues that have provided input when they built their hard asset empire. And it's been really just a real treat to get to this point and offer this to the public. So I'm very excited about it. We have a lot of great things ahead of us with this book. And I have every one of my employees at Alliance reads the book because it talks about who we are as a company and where we're going. And it's really important that you understand who we are at Alliance. And so what I also did was, you know, I didn't write the book about me or talk about what I've done in my career and all that. It's more about helping you as the audience. But what was important to me is I was going to share lessons, some of my war stories, maybe deals that didn't work out so well, maybe things I learned along the way. And then after I share all the different ways to build your hard asset empire and the different assets and everything, the last chapter to me was so important because I talked about mindset. I talked about what you're going to go through, Chris, when you build a hard asset empire. Because what ends up happening is you go through it and you're going to have some challenges. You're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to see what life is about. You're going to have to pivot to different attorneys and accountants and consultants that you're going to have to work with. You're going to grow as a person. You're going to eliminate friends and shed off family. All this is growth. And if you don't understand that, and if I don't give you that lens going into this thing, you're going to say, well, you didn't tell me that I'm going to change. You didn't tell me I'm going to grow. You're going to tell me I have tough decisions. You didn't tell me I might go through some struggles and some stress. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart building a hard ass empire, but if you stick with it and you're consistent and you're persistent, you can do it. And that's what I love about the book is it's inspiring for someone to say, hey, I have the ability to change my life.
And all for the price of a book. And then, of course, you can look at the courses online and stuff. Now, you talk in the book about 4 foundational let me pull up the thing I had here. 4 foundational elements: cornerstones, keystones, capstones of a building for a resilient hard asset empire. Can you expand on us how those work? I'm looking at I downloaded your blueprint too. I'm looking at that.
Well, what I wanted you is I wanted you to have those pillars. And the pillars talk about, data, which is actionable intelligence. We have a lot of technology in the world. How do you develop your portfolio? Durability. How do you embed resilience in your portfolio and your hard asset empire? And then discipline, cash flow management. So those are my staples. Those are my columns to build this thing. And then my capstones, which are my walls, is I'm going to talk about adaptability and legacy and the fun stuff like charitable stuff and things you want to get into. I'm going to talk about succession planning. And I'm going to talk about asset management and flexibility and stability and having partners. And one thing I teach in the book, and this is very important for everyone, okay, to understand, especially when you're investing, is you want to invest in smart money. And so people are like, well, Ben, what does that mean, smart money? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. So when you invest in Alliance, okay, and you invest capital into our funds or whatever, you're investing in smart money. We are commercial real estate experts. That's what I am, a commercial real estate expert. I understand crypto and digital assets, and I understand bonds and stocks, but that's not my focus. So what I do is I leverage my time. We talked about time previously. I am going to leverage my time and invest in smart money. People have a good track record, been there, done that, have experience. And that's how I'm going to continue to grow to build my hard asset empire. And what's important in the blueprint, as we talk about it, is I'm going to talk about your foundation. Okay. I'm going to talk about data-driven decisions and market positioning. We're going to build vaults, and we're going to talk about what's your family operational plan, what's your business operational plan. We're going to talk about data privacy, now that we have to talk about data privacy as a foundation. What's your portfolio plan? And then we're going to talk about, okay, now that you start building this, what's your inheritance plan? What are you going to do to give back to your family and future generations?
What if you don't like your family?
Well, you have a decision. You have a decision to make. And that's, you know what, that's part of it. But I'll tell you, what's going to happen, everyone out there, is you start building your hard asset empire, is people aren't going to be happy. They're going to be jealous. And they're going to see that you're doing things that they wish they would have done. And that creates jealousy. Well, guess what? You have to be able to be resilient and strong, and you're going to have to make tough decisions with family. If people, you got to be very careful who you bring in your space, in your airspace. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
I love it.
And that includes family.
Yeah, true.
There are family members, be vulnerable, that I've had to exclude out of my life to get to this point.
Yeah.
There are friends that I've had to move on from. And as you grow as a person, okay, you're going to evolve, and you're going to shed off people in your life, and it's not going to be easy, but you deal with it. And that's part of the resilience. That's part of understanding who you are and how you grow as a person.
There you go. There you go. You go through that a lot in life too. When you start businesses, you've got everybody telling you how to start companies and how to operate them. You've got, your family, you've got a million opinions. And it's always funny, all the opinions that come from people who have never maybe achieved what you're going after
Mhm.
and don't know how to do it. And, they're usually negative. They're like, oh, if you do that, you could fail. And you're like, well, I could also succeed.
Well, and that's why, Chris, when I wrote the war stories in the book,
Mhm.
is I wanted to show people like, yeah, I've had some failures.
Yeah.
And guess
Yeah.
what? I've thrived from those failures, and I wouldn't change a thing. People always ask like, well, Ben, you didn't come from money. So would it be easier if you came from an inheritance or a lot of money? And I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
Because the resilience and the discipline and that young guy from Chicago that came up and grinded, I wouldn't change a thing. And so for everyone out there, is that be grateful where you're at,
Mhm.
put the work in, be persistent, resilient, work hard, show up every day. I show up every day to the office, same person I was when I got started. And I never forget the day I started. And that gratitude is important because it allows you to focus and not take things for granted. It doesn't matter how successful you are.
Mhm.
You're still the same person.
Yeah.
And you're still the guy who started. And if you can reflect back on those tough times when you started or the challenges you went through, you become humble, and you know what? You attract great people in your life.
Yeah. And you're right. The people you surround yourself. I think they sometimes say that you become the 5 or 6 people you surround yourself with in life.
Yep. The five people you interact with is who you become.
So evidently I'm going to become a husky soon, a Siberian husky, because that's 2 huskies.
You got 2 huskies.
There you go. Which explains why I'm covered in fur, probably, and I bark at things. So there's that. Every now and then I'll bark on the podcast. People are like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm becoming the 5 people that surround me. Anyway, I spend most of my time with. So this is great. You've encapsulated the book to just get the pure essence of the thing, of your strategies and data and things that you've learned over your lifetime and career. I'm looking at the Hard Asset Empire Blueprint that I download. People can download this on the website. Plug. And so you've got looks like 4 cornerstones, or excuse me if I get this wrong on what I'm assuming it is. So you got data, development, or develop, discipline, and durability as the cornerstones. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
And so actionable intelligence, data you can use. You got to know what's going on in the world, developing your portfolio construction, finding right assets and investments, like what you talk about, going after hard assets, embedded resilience in discipline, or durability. I'm sorry. Got a camera in the way there. What does embedded resilience and durability mean?
It means that you have structured your investments properly. You have protected them. Maybe you've done asset protection. Maybe you put them in the right vehicles. So I encourage everyone I have a wonderful team of people around me with attorneys, different various attorneys, accountants, etc. And so I encourage people to build your resources. Take time, get to know them, have a personal relationship with them. Because if you find a good one like we do, that I have, you're going to spend a lot of time with them and decades. They're going to see your kids get raised. They're going to come to family events. They're going to deal with your highs and lows. You got to be vulnerable in front of them. And it's got to be a raw relationship where it's authentic. And that's what helps create durability, is when you have this incredible team of resources around you to help provide that stability. I tell people as a founder and a CEO, Chris, I don't need to know everything, but I sure as hell need to bring in amazing talent around me. And that's what I do at Alliance. That's what I do in my life, is I leverage into great talent to make sure that I can maximize my time.
There you go. Yeah. And that's part of probably, what's the term I'm thinking of? Where you distribute your tasks and your time so that you can focus on what you need to do. You hire the experts to come in and deal with this stuff. So with what's going on in the marketplaces today, I mean, there's rising inflation. I think that's a given where we're at. Interest rates are kind of in a funky place given these new economic models I think we're having to subscribe to, or at least ones since I can't remember who was that put tariffs back in the 20s and started the recession or the depression. Where do you see the best opportunities for investors today with kind of this unclear world here in 2025?
I am a huge advocate of hard assets, especially commercial real estate. So when I look at commercial real estates, industrial is going to be smoking hot soon. It's a wonderful asset class. We've built millions of square feet of industrial. I feel multifamily is going to be very stable. People are going to need a place to live, especially in these economic times. And then obviously what we do is medical office. One of our niches, we're one of the leaders in the United States. The human body, Chris, is never going out of style. So hard assets, you can kick the bricks and mortar, high renewal rates in medical office. These are all great inflationary plays because we have annual escalations in leases. We have hard assets. As long as you have the ability to hold, which is the key to commercial real estate, you could ride any cycle, any administration, anything going on in the world. Hard assets is the best, and especially when there's chaos going on in the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody needs medical healing and problems. The older you get, the more they come. And the way Americans live their lives, going to McDonald's all the time, we're eating horrible crap.
Well, think about this. More people are working out than ever. So orthopedic, more people have gastro problems. More people are doing surgeries. More people are doing plastic surgery than ever.
Yeah.
And there's more cancer going on in the world and the food we eat. So with all that being said, the human body is never going out of style. Physicians are always going to be needed. And so for us, we realize how do we, for our investors, produce great cash flow and upside? And medical office is a great asset class, especially in any environment.
Yeah, definitely. In the work that you do, I'm trying to find our questions here. How can someone start investing in commercial real estate with limited capital?
It's a great question. You can invest passively in Alliance, what we do. That's one way. That's if you don't want to get into the weeds, into the nitty gritty of what we do, because it's a very sophisticated, complicated business. But if you wanted to invest in commercial real estate and do it yourself, which you're going to go on a learning curve, I went right in as a principal. I wasn't a broker. And so I went right in the deep water. And if you're going to do that, you're going to go on a learning curve, but you're going to have to use other people's money. So you're going to have to learn how to package a deal. You're going to have to learn how to underwrite it, and you're going to have to look at raising equity. And it's not for the faint of heart. So what I advise people is to invest in Alliance in one of our funds or one of our deals, get your feet wet, go on a learning curve, see what we do. And then you could be educated and be like, nah, I don't want to do this. This is way too much work, way too much risk. I don't understand. It's going to take me years to get my arms around these assets. So that's a way that you can get involved in commercial real estate with limited capital.
There you go. A way to get into it. And then, of course, have other people that are really good at what they do, manage it for you and deal with some of the hassle there.
Yeah.
So you can learn as you grow. What's the number one mistake you see people making with their money in certain markets?
What I see is they don't understand the people they're doing business with. They don't do enough homework. And because anyone can pay you a quarterly return, but who is standing behind that investment? How do they deal with challenges? I ask everyone because a lot of people say, can you look at my portfolio? Can you help me? I'm looking at this investment opportunity. Do you want to invest in it, Ben? And I say, well, who's the sponsor? How do they handle challenges? Because I'm riding the horse that can handle tough times. Because anyone can pay me a check when things are good. But when things are tough, I want to know who rises to that challenge, who rises to the occasion. That's what separates people when it comes to investing. And so I like to play the man and not the investment. I like to understand the investment and the merits of it, but I want to play the man. I want to know who am I dealing with? And when things are tough, I want to know how they communicate with me, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people, and people are so important.
Yeah, definitely. Just as we talked about before, where if you have the people you surround yourself with. Now, is that usually the CEO of whatever investment opportunity you're going into?
Not necessarily. It could be
Okay.
who's the team,
Okay.
who's on
Okay.
the team,
There you go.
who founded the company.
There you go. The what now? Do you like private credit and digital assets like Bitcoin in your
I
wealth building
I
model?
I love digital assets.
Mhm.
I think it's exciting. I'm looking at how to incorporate tokenization into commercial real estate. It's something I want to do.
Mm.
Um, I learned Bitcoin. My oldest son is in the blockchain business. I think it's fascinating. I built a portfolio with digital assets, and I continue to.
Mm.
And I feel it's the way of the future. And I feel that you got to understand the business. And so I've invested in some technology companies that deal with the blockchain. And I think it's fascinating. I think it's a wonderful industry, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
There you go. It should be interesting, and it seems like legislatively it's becoming more. More, I don't know. The government seems to be interested in
I think
maybe.
they've realized like this isn't going away.
Yeah, you can't
So
stop it.
either we embrace it and learn about it, or we're going to get swept away by it.
Hmm. If someone listening were to take one action today to creating lasting wealth, what would it be? And you can feel free to plug away and say, on board with my courses.
Well, I mean, I would definitely tell them to read the book.
Yeah.
Okay. Start with the book. If you want to get in the courses, you can, if you want to bring it to life. But what I would do is take action now. Don't wait. You're not too old. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter how young you are. And if you're young and you say, well, Ben, I don't have any money. Let's just say you got $50 of disposable income every month from your job.
Mm.
Your paycheck to paycheck, whatever you're doing in life. You work at a sporting goods store. I don't care. You work at Starbucks. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Take a portion of your money and start investing it. Be conservative. Okay. Buy a mutual fund, invest in a REIT, in stocks or what have you. Buy some Bitcoin if you can afford it. Whatever it is, start investing.
Mm-hmm.
And get in that habit of taking money every month. Investing as you make more and more money, you'll be able to provide freedom for yourself, which is what everyone wants. And so what I tell everyone is take action now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to build wealth, go to my website, benreinberg.com. I show you how to build wealth. It's very transparent, and it's a great way. And we do webinars. We do all different educational pieces, me and my company, to educate you if you're listening out there. So I'm not going to leave you hanging. You're going to be educated. You're going to continue. It's consistent and it's resilient, what we do.
There you go. Well, that's what people should do. They should get on board, check it out. And then with people that are investing, I think you would suggest that they should invest stuff for the long term, like a set it and forget it maybe.
Well, let's talk about why hard assets matter now.
Okay.
See, cash is losing value every day.
Mm-hmm.
And hard assets don't just protect your wealth, Chris. They multiply it, even when the economy is falling apart. And so we talked about this start now mindset. And if you wait for the perfect time to invest, you'll miss every opportunity, just like with Bitcoin. And the best time to start was yesterday. Let's just be honest. And the second best time is right now. So building real freedom is the key. That's what everyone wants. That's what everyone tells me is, how do I have my own autonomy, set my own schedule, do what I want? And money isn't the goal. Freedom is. So wealth is a tool that not only buys back your time so you can live on your terms, because we all want to live on our terms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It makes all the difference in the world when you can do whatever you want, wherever you want, and however you want, for the most part. There's certain things I still can't do because I guess they're against the law, but the judge says I can't do them anymore. But I'll get the 6 ankle bracelets off next week, I think. Anyway, so Ben, this has been very insightful. Thank you for coming on the show. Give us your final pitch out to people, all the .coms, where people can find you on the interwebs, et cetera.
You want to invest in commercial real estate, go to alliancecgc.com. You want to learn more about me and learn how to build wealth and get a copy of the book, Hard Assets and Hard Money for Hard Times, and take some classes and really learn how you can continue to build wealth for the rest of your life. Go to benreinberg.com. That's benreinberg.com. And let me show you how you can build wealth and generational wealth for you and your family.
There you go. Thank you very much, Ben, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Chris, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. A pleasure to have you as well. Order up Ben's book, wherever fine books are sold, out March 25th, 2025, called Hard Assets and Hard Money for Hard Times, a blueprint to build a hard asset empire to withstand every economic cycle. And for all the economic cycles I've been in, businesses I've lost over the decades, you definitely need that, because there's a lot of economic cycles coming at you through life. It's interesting, there's a 2008 crisis, and then God, what else is there? I mean, there's crazy stuff going on now, and I think there was COVID. There's just all sorts of craziness that goes on in our economics. So build for your future, and then you can enjoy it in your old age, or you can try to between your bones creaking. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss won the TikTokity, and Facebook.com/Chris Voss. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should have us out. Great show there.